Hello everyone and welcome back to Mitwa by Madhurima Sappatti. I am your host Madhurima Sappatti, a freedom soul coach who loves to help multi-passionate, ambitious dreamers manage their stress and burnout so that they can go ahead and manifest their dreams without their own selves holding them back. Woohoo! Let's go. I am super excited for today's topic. It's all about planning the next year along with me. Now, I know that oftentimes when December rolls in, there's a lot of festivities, there's a lot of, oh, it's the holiday season, everyone's excited, but there's also the sense of overwhelm that comes in that, oh, what did we actually do throughout this year? December came by so fast. I don't know how this year flew by, and what are we going to do for next year? There is so many things that we are planning to do, so many things that we want to do, so many things that we want to achieve, that you kind of get into this. It's almost like you're being pulled by both your past and your future, and you're struggling to stay present. It can overwhelm you, stress you, and freak you out. This is especially true for entrepreneurs, especially true for people who are working on their goals, who have a set idea as to what they want to achieve going forward, and they have all these things planned out, and so they are kind of buried under the pressure of all the steps that they have to take, all the things that they have to do. So it can get very overwhelming, it can get very creepy. It has happened to me a lot of times. And so I wanted to plan this coming year along with you guys. Now, this is an evergreen topic. No matter what year it is, you can give this a try. I will be sharing a few tips, a few questions that you can ask yourself going forward, what you can do, and what will be the best way going forward to achieve all your goals and dreams. Without further ado, let's get into it. Let's go. All right, the very first thing, the very first step that I have to share with you, and this is something that took a lot of guts for me to do, because it can be a very scary thing to actually put on your glasses and look back at what happened throughout this year. It can be a scary thing. I feel like when we are working towards something very passionately, it makes sense that sometimes we kind of forget how quickly time is moving. We forget how quickly things are moving past us, and so it can get very scary to actually look back and think about everything that you have done throughout this year. Now, going forward, I would love to share this tip is simply have a journal where you make note of everything that you're doing on a particular day. What work did you do? What goals did you achieve? What are the mini steps you took to achieve your bigger goal? What mindset shifts did you take? What did you do to coach yourself? What did you do to understand yourself a bit better? Have all these questions on the ready. I will be sharing a workbook down below. If you click that, you will have access to all these questions that I'm asking you right now and more. So when you do something like this, when you have a daily record of the work that you did to achieve a particular goal that you have in mind, let it be business, let it be personal, you start to have an understanding of what you are doing. So when even the time might seem like it's moving past you very, very quickly, you have an understanding of what you did during a particular time. For example, I try my best to live every day intentionally, and I kind of have this fun activity where I read comics every day in the morning. And I kind of track by days depending on the comics that I'm reading and when the next comic will upload. It uploads weekly. So sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I just read this comic yesterday. How is it a week already? So, you have that motion, or you have that sense that time is moving by really, really fast. So when you are making this journal, I would invite you that even though you're writing down your daily goals, daily things that you have done throughout the day, I want you to actually sit down and accumulate this data and put it into a form where you can see what you did in a particular week, what you did in a particular month. Seeing this, when you are actually reviewing your year at the end of the year, for example, if I'm reviewing 2022, I have all the data I need based on what I did every single day, what I did throughout the month, and what I did throughout the week, and what I did throughout the month. So I can look at my data through a glimpse, and I can actually see what I learned and what I didn't learn. It is also really amazing to have some data like this, because you can actually see what you need to work on, what helped you change for the better, what helped you change for the worse, what can you do to ensure that those worse habits are kind of put on a hold or can be replaced with new things that works better for you. Now, we make a lot of mistakes in the entrepreneurship journey, for example, and I'm saying this because I'm an entrepreneur. It is very easy to make a lot of mistakes, and you will make a lot of mistakes. There's no there's no, like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna make any mistake ever in my entirety of my entrepreneurship journey. So I feel like it's really great that when you have, or when you make these mistakes, you have an idea as to what you can do better for the next time. So the very first tip that we are working towards, which is reviewing how the year went by, you have all these pointers, all the things that worked and all the things that didn't, and you can actually look by and give gratitude. Huge. Give gratitude to the things that worked and give yourself grace for the things that didn't. This is really, really important. And you can give grace to all the things that worked and give gratitude to all the things that didn't, because it helped you learn an important lesson, at least in the beginning of your journey rather than at the peak of your journey. Also, giving grace to yourself, because there are times when we do something, we accomplish something, and we are like, oh my gosh, why didn't I accomplish it sooner? Why couldn't I do something more? Why couldn't I add something more into the thing that I've already achieved? So we kind of diminish the importance of having overcome or having worked on a particular goal and moved forward, right? We kind of diminish ourselves. Sometimes that happens, especially on bad days. You tend to diminish even your good days. So this is a time when you are reviewing your year. I would genuinely invite you to actually sit down and think about, oh, this happened. I give gratitude to it because it did. I give grace to myself that it did, and that I now know what I need to do to ensure that this can be done better, right? It's like when you are learning how to chop vegetables for the very first time, it's going to be clumsy. You're going to be happy that at least you learned how to chop an onion, but going forward, obviously, you now know what to do and what not to do to chop those onions better, right? You have all the skills, you learn every single time, you learn with every single mistake. So, in short, give gratitude to all the things that worked and didn't work, and give grace to all the things that worked and didn't work while you're reviewing your year. And have a journal on the go for the coming year. With that, let's move on to the next topic. All right, our next topic is mindset for the next year. It is really important to have an understanding of what you want to do for the coming year. I feel like a lot of us jump into the next year with all these resolutions that we tend to not follow through after the first few days, or you follow through with all your resolutions up till a week. Hats off to you. If you follow through with it only for the first couple of days, I'm with you, I'm on the same boat. I have done this way too many times. And so, something that I'm going to try out this year is actually sitting down and understanding what the deeper meaning to a particular activity is, right? So for example, if it is, oh, I want to lose this much weight, why do I want to lose it? What is the intention behind it, and how can I make this a fun activity? I feel like for me, I'm like a little kid. If it is not fun, I will stop doing it after a point of time. I'm genuinely like that. So I need to understand what I can do to make activities fun, which is one of the reasons why my entire mission is to make stress management fun, is because stress management can sometimes be overwhelming, can be stressful in and of itself as an activity. So I want to make it a process where it can be fun for everyone who's trying it out. It doesn't need to be this black and white thing that happens to you. It can be something where you can add all these wonderful colors, and it can be a beautiful, beautiful process for you. So yeah, my intention is going forward, I actually want to sit down and think what I want to do, why I want to do it, what is the importance behind the thing that I want to achieve, and how I can make it fun. I feel like that is really, really important going forward when you are setting your mindset, is to understand why are you doing a particular activity, right? And for me, that is one aspect of mindset. The second aspect of mindset is actually working on my limiting beliefs. Now, this is really huge, and I love to do this activity every December because it gives me a month to work on my limiting beliefs, and they show up for everyone. So everyone literally has limiting beliefs that they have learned, that they have absorbed as children or as adults, things that they have programmed into their mind, thinking that this is the truth because they have seen proof enough number of times that they can't necessarily see the other side of it, right? Here's what you can do: sit down and think of all the goals that you want to achieve in the next year, right? And as we move forward with the sections of this video, I will be sharing a lot of different goals that we can achieve, that we can work towards, right? And so as we move forward with our goals, I want you to actually sit down and think about what you're feeling about this particular goal, right? For example, when I think of achieving a goal of earning 10K dollars a month, and I know that it's easily achievable, I know that I have the skills, I know that I have all the things that I need to achieve this goal and more, because I am constantly learning, I am constantly increasing my knowledge, I am constantly working on these skills, and ensuring that it gets bigger, and I learn to reach up to my client's demand, to reach up to understand how I can help my client in the best way possible. So I know that I am in that mind space already, right? I know that this dream and anything that I dream higher than this is really, really achievable. However, internally, maybe because of the money mindset that we have had for a long time in our generation, in our family, for literally generations, there is this mindset of, oh, we will always have enough to be happy, but never enough to live in luxury. We will always have money that is equal to what our requirements are, but not more than that, right? We will always be happy, we might be satisfied, but we might not live in luxury, and that's we have had this mindset for a really long time. I'm not blaming the mindset. This mindset has served us for a long time. Not blaming it for what it is, but I also know that at the place where I am, with all the skills that I have, I know that this mindset has to change, has to evolve, because I am evolving as a person. I am not in the same situation which my forefathers were in. I know that I have the capability to evolve and I will evolve. But this limiting mindset of or belief of, oh, you know what, that's too much. I don't think we need that much. What are we going to do with that much money? How are we going to manage life? What are we going to do? There are all these questions that scare and sometimes pull us back with our fear. Like, no, we are not going to do that. That's too much. Let's come back. Let's come back into what we are aware of. Let's come back into the new. I feel like these limiting beliefs are always going to exist unless we work on it. So, as we move forward with working on our mindset, I want you to, number one, think about the goals that you have to achieve or you want to achieve in the coming year. And number two, spend at least a month working on your limiting beliefs. This is obviously not going to change within a day because these limiting beliefs have had a lot of time to evolve, to get absorbed into our bones almost, right? It is not going to change overnight. However, you will start the process. You will start the process of having this conversation with yourself on the daily. You will start the process of thinking about, well, why can't I achieve this? Why can't I achieve this? Why can't I achieve my dreams? Why can't I ask for more? Why can't I get more? Why do I think of money as something which is evil? The more money I have, the more evil I will become. You have all these thought processes, and when you challenge these processes, you will have answers and you will have conversations going forward. So, this month is going to be a challenge where you have to have that conversation with yourself. You have to challenge yourself and ask yourself the difficult questions and actually work with yourself to move forward. Now, as you're doing this, as you're setting the goals, as you're working with your limiting beliefs, I want you to give yourself grace and give gratitude to these limiting beliefs because they existed for a reason. They helped you survive a particular thing. For a really long time, those limiting beliefs were the crutch that helped you come and reach this point where you are now surviving, where you are now safe enough, content enough to actually go ahead and challenge and evolve the mindset that you have. So I want you to give grace and gratitude to all these limiting beliefs so that you can move forward with a much more positive space. A lot of times when we are working on our mindset, there is this attitude of, well, you know what? I don't care. I never had that belief. I hate that I had that belief. How could I have that belief? Why did I have that belief? You kind of beat yourself up for having limiting beliefs when in reality, those limiting beliefs help you reach this particular point. They help you survive. So, when you are constantly in battle with yourself for having limiting beliefs that no longer, or beliefs, let's call it for what it is, beliefs that no longer work for you at this day and age, at this particular point in your life, I think it's best to actually go forward and let it go with love rather than let it go with hate, right? Because the more you fight with yourself, there will come a point where you will get exhausted and you'll be like, you know what, let it go. I'm just gonna go back to my old mindset. Why am I even fighting this? I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I don't want to do this anymore. So it's always better to move forward with love rather than with fear and hatred. And how you do this is you actually give gratitude to all these beliefs that existed inside you for so long. And this is obviously, again, not going to change your thought process within a day, but it is going to start the process of working on yourself, right? When you let go of all these beliefs, when you give gratitude, when you say thanks for helping you reach till here, after you have had that conversation, let's say you have a conversation with your limiting belief every single day for 5 minutes. At the end of the conversation, say thank you and then move forward, right? That is the way we are going to go. That is the way that we should be moving forward when we are working on our mindset, or at least that is what I personally believe. So give this a try. Let me know in the comments down below what limiting beliefs you're working with, how letting go with gratitude and grace is serving you in this coming month and year. With that, let's move into the goal planning era of our video. I am so excited. Let's go. Now, the next step of this journey is actually working on your energetic goals. Now, what I mean by this is working on your personal goals. What are the goals that you want to achieve? Now, as we are building out these energetic goals, I want you to actually sit down, if possible, close your eyes for a minute and just breathe in slowly and breathe out. Right? You can do this for a minute, you can do this for a second, but I want you to calm down and bring down that energy and center it within yourself. And then I want you to think about what your next year is going to look like. What do you want the next year to look like for you as a particular person? Right? We can think about how it will affect the people closest to us, and it is really important to think about that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but let's go forward and actually think about what it looks like for us as a particular individual. What does the next year look like for you? What are you doing in this year? If you want to, you can actually do this quick visualization that I learned from Jedi Azuma inside our ECC container, our Embodied Coach Collective container that was created by Crystal Smiles. Now, with Jedi, I have already done an episode which you can listen to by clicking this link here. But I want you to do this quick, wonderful visualization if you're down for it. If you're not, just skip ahead. If you are down for it, I invite you to actually slow down and close your eyes. Plant your feet into the floor. Plant your toes into the floor. Place your hand, both palms if you're comfortable with it, on your chest. You can also place them on your legs. One hand on your chest, one on your stomach, whichever feels the most aligned for you and whichever helps you feel the most comfortable. Just breathe. With every breath, bring back all the energy within you. Wherever you're feeling your energy going, wherever you're feeling distracted, bring it back and bring it into you. Take a deep breath. Let it go slowly. I want you to focus this energy. Maybe you have that energy focused on the top of your head, in between your two eyes. Maybe you have it inside your chest, or maybe you have it in your gut. Wherever you're feeling that energy, bring it closer to your chest and bring it towards your back. As you do this, imagine the energy splitting into two, moving separately and symmetrically to the sides, to both sides of your back. And slowly imagine yourself sprouting wings, feather by feather. You have these wings sprout from your back and slowly grow. As it grows, it envelops you, it almost grows into the size of your room. If you have an understanding of what everything is placed inside of your room, that you have a bed literally 2 feet away from you, or you have these paintings on your walls, imagine your wings brushing, not destroying, but brushing and touching and being in the sense of everything that is happening around you, being in the sense of the room that surrounds you. Now, with a deep breath in and a deeper breath out, I want you to imagine your wings slowly open, flutter, and then move upwards into the sky, almost shoot up into the sky. Feel the, you can visualize the clouds, you can visualize the warmth of the sun or the moon if you're a night owl like me. And envision your wings just flutter open. Now imagine yourself at the top of this wonderful, wonderful space, feeling the clouds around you, feeling the air on your face. Then slowly start to fly forward. Imagine your wings flapping, bringing you with every flap, moving forward, rushing forward into the next year. You can pick a particular date, particular time, and then with one big swoop, you are in the time and date you want to be in. Now slowly flap your wings, pull them closer, and feel yourself land on the ground. Press your toes into wherever you are and look around you. What do you see? What do you see yourself doing? Where are you? What have you achieved? What are you working towards? Who are you surrounded by? You can out of all these things as you settle down with peace, with gratitude, flowing from your body as you look around you. Take a look at the details, the minute ones and the big ones around you. And keep breathing slowly. Don't overwhelm yourself, don't freak out. You're safe right now as you're looking at everything that you've built for yourself and everything that you're building for yourself. Stay here for a while. Once you feel comfortable, I want you to flap your wings, slowly shoot up into the sky, and fly back to where you are with big flaps. You reach the space you are in right now. Slowly bring your wings together as you land. You reach the space you are in. Stay here for a few seconds. Then imagine those wings slowly shrinking and going back into your back. Feel that energy come into your chest and then slowly disperse throughout your body. And when you're comfortable, I want you to slowly rub your palms together. And the friction and heat that is produced, place it on your eyes. And slowly open them, come back to the present. Whew, now that was a visualization. How did you feel? How did that feel for you? What did you see for yourself? I like to do this activity at least bi-weekly, just so that I have an understanding of what I'm working towards. So in the space, I always see myself standing on a big lawn, the grass underneath my feet, the wind in my face, surrounded by trees, living in this beautiful house with my family and my partner. And I see myself having built the life that I want. I look into the minute details and the major details of my life. Now, I know a lot of you might not be spiritually inclined, and if you're watching this, you're going, Madhurima, what the hell? What am I supposed to do right now? I don't like this. I don't want to do a visualization with you. No worries. No worries at all. Here's what you can do. I want you to think about what you want to achieve in the next year. And you can think of the goals. If you have done the visualization, you are already aware of what those goals look like. If you haven't done the visualization, you know what are the goals that you want to achieve. It might be, oh, I want to lose this much weight. I want to do this particular thing. I want to have achieved this particular thing in my life. I want to have appeared in the Forbes 30 under 30 magazine. I want to do all these different things, right? And if you don't know, here's a really cool tip. I will be attaching once again in the worksheet that you can download below for free. a list of goals that a lot of people tend to have in this day and age, right? And I'll be splitting them into personal goals and financial goals and realistic goals and things that you want to achieve. And you can look at all these goals and pick the goals that you want for yourself, right? And if you don't see your goals there, maybe you might be inspired by something. Maybe you might have an inkling of, I want this, but not exactly this. This is what I want. Write down those goals. And if you don't feel aligned to a few goals in there, or you don't feel aligned with any of the goals in there, then you know what you are looking for. If you are not looking for a particular thing, what is the thing that you're looking for instead? Right? If I, as a person, was choosing different ice creams. I don't want vanilla. I don't want strawberry. I might want butterscotch. I might want Rocky Road, right? I might want black currant, but I don't want this. If I know what all I don't want, play the game of elimination. I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this. Well, these are the other flavors that exist. If you don't want this, these many things. So if you don't particularly align with any of the goals in there, then you have an understanding of what are the goals that might be remaining and that might align with you. So give this a try and actually think about the goals that you want to achieve. If you have done the visualization and you have an inkling of what that looks like, maybe looking into this particular workbook will help you understand a bit more clearly what the goals that you want to achieve can or might look like, right? Pick this down, write it inside your book. A lot of people love to have vision boards. I am a huge believer of vision boards, but I like to make it in my particular personal way, right? Like everyone has a different way of making these vision boards. I actually have, you know what? I don't know if I can show this to you guys. I usually can't, which is sad. All right, so while I can't show you my desktop, here is what the screen actually looks like. Now, this is what I envision my dream house to look like, right? This is the kind of space that I want. I want to have books, I want to have all these things. So I know that I look at my laptop throughout the day because of the work that I do personally as a coach and with all the content that I'm oftentimes creating. I know that I look at my desktop. So I constantly am passively or not looking at my desktop screen, and this inspires me and this motivates me. So you can go ahead. I actually built this off Canva. I went on Pinterest, wrote down a few prompts, found a few pictures that aligned with me personally. Then I downloaded them, put it on Canva, matched it up. I know it looks a bit haphazard, but that's how I like my pictures to be put. Like I don't want clean lines. I want it to be like, oh, I put this on top of another thing. So this is basically what my desktop screen looks like. I will obviously be updating it going forward, going into the next year, but this is a great tip if you want to work on yourself, if you want to have a vision board but you don't necessarily want it on your wall. You might not pass through the wall or notice the wall a lot, but if you are on your phone, if you are on your laptop and you can create something like this and you can have it as your wallpaper, I think this is a great way to kind of create your own vision board. Again, there are multiple ways to make vision boards. I look at things personally, visually, and that is how I relate to it. Like every time I write down in a vision board, I'm like, yeah, well, it is what it is. It is going to happen. I don't know when. But if I see visual images, it actually helps me relate to it more and be motivated by it and be inspired by it. So this is my way of creating a vision board. Give it a try if you want to. And if you do, if you do have your vision board, I want you to take a photo of it and post it on your Instagram and tag me at Madhurima underscore freedom soul coach. And I will be sharing all these amazing vision boards on my story so that everyone can get inspired by it. And I know that you people are my tribe. Yes, let's go. So a great way to actually look at your visions, a great way to actually look at your goal and visualize it, visualize achieving it. This is a great way to set up energetic goals. The next thing that we're looking at is time management. This is something that is really huge for me as an entrepreneur. I realize that I spend a lot of time doing tasks that I don't necessarily like, which is why I am working towards building my own team. I also want to ensure that I am spending time in things that I like and not wasting my time doing things that can be done through a form. For example, it's almost like things that can be shared over an email or a text message. You don't have to do a 30-minute or an hour meeting for it. That is the kind of goals I am looking for. I notice that I spend a lot of time giving away free coaching calls. I spend a lot of time screening people for my podcast, doing a 15 to 20-minute chemistry call to actually see if the person in front of me, is aligning with my goals and what the goals for my podcast, the Source Conquest, is or are. So what I have started to do is actually think about where am I spending time now. This is again a great way when you are working on your review, when you are reviewing your year, you take a notice of all the things that you shouldn't be wasting time on that can be done via a phone. So that is a goal that I am actually thinking for myself, is actually sitting down, and one of the things that came up for me was spending time doing chemistry calls, spending time screening my clients when I can actually do that over a form. So, for example, if you want to be on my podcast, you have to fill out a form. And if I like what I see there, if I align with what is written over there, then I know that, you know what, this person resonates with me. I like their energy. I like their vibe. So I want them on the podcast. The same way with my clients. Now, knowing my goals for next year, one of the goals which I will be sharing in the next part of this video, I know that I don't want to spend that much time spending coaching people individually. Now I only coach one on one. That is something that you guys are all aware of. But inside my one on one coaching program, my signature coaching program Agni, I know that I will take up no more than 3 clients with the coming year. I will be doubling my prices. So right now the Agni program is for $2,500. With the next year, my coaching program will be charged at $5,000. When I raise my prices, I know that the client is investing a lot of their time, their energy, and their resources into for stepping into my container. And I step in the exact same way. I step in with that much amount of energy inside a coaching program or inside a coaching container. So I know that if I do that exact same thing for 10 to 15 clients throughout the week, I know that I'll be drained out to the point where I can't go and work towards my other goals, other things that I want to achieve, other things that I want to do for relaxation or for work. Which is why my next step is to double my prices and shorten the amount of people I work with, which is 3. 3 being a wonderfully spiritually amazing number. I will be working with 3 clients at double the price, and that's $5,000. And I know that that is something that I'm fine with. And I know that for doing that, while I'm screening my clients, I don't necessarily want to spend 30 minutes with every single person who could be a potential fit for my coaching program, right? And so I am working on creating a form. Every time someone signs up, every time someone joins the wait list, I look at their form. If they align with me, if I feel like we can work together, then and only then will they step into the next part, which is the discovery call. So I won't be doing a discovery call with every person. I'll be doing discovery calls only with potential clients, right? I am shortening the amount of time I spend on doing these tasks and focusing solely on the people that resonate the most with me and I resonate the most with. That is something that I am stepping into, which is actually figuring out what should I be spending my time in and what should I not be spending my time in, which is again, once again, a huge thing, which is something that I implore you guys to do as well. Step in, look inwards while you're doing the review, look into what is something that you want to focus on and what is something that you can possibly change to fit the kind of dreams that you see yourself living, right? If it can be a message, if it can be an email, don't make it into an hour long meeting. You can do so many more things. You can chill in that time, you can work in that time, right? Amazing. So, yeah, that is something that I am personally working towards, which is huge for me. All right, let's jump into the next aspect of this video. As we are going about this journey, one really huge bonus tip that I have for you is actually be really flexible with the goals that you're setting. A lot of times we put really small deadlines or really short deadlines for the goals that we want to achieve in hopes that it will motivate us. But for example, our dream is way too bigger as compared to the deadline that we have set for it. There are going to be times when you cross that deadline and you still haven't achieved the dream. And then you beat yourself up. But oh my gosh, I did not achieve that dream. I'm so stupid. I'm so worthless. You know, you have all these thoughts that come up for you. So my suggestion would be to Be a bit flexible, not with your goals, but with the deadlines that you're setting for yourself. For example, from a really young age, I always told my mom, you know what, I am going to buy you a house by the time I turn 24. I became 24 years old, and the situation at our house was not that good for me to have achieved that goal. So I was like, you know what, let me turn 25 and I will achieve this goal for you. I will build you a house. I will build you the most beautiful house in the entire world. 25 came and went, and I still hadn't achieved that goal. 26 came around and I was like, let me turn 26. Before I turn 26, you will have that house that you have been dreaming for. 26 came and it is going away now. Like I'm literally on the pathway to become 27 years old. So with something like this, every time you fail to achieve your goal, and when your goal is really big, because we all have a particular idea for how our dream house should look like. And when the days come and they go by, it adds a crushing weight on yourself, like, oh my gosh, I'm so worthless. How could I not achieve this goal? I have been postponing this goal for 2 years, 3 years now. This doesn't make any sense. Why can't I build a goddamn house and gift it to my mom? Why can't I do that? Right? And you beat yourself up about it. So here's what I am planning to do moving forward is, by the time I turn 30, not next year, by the time I turn 30, that is literally 4 years from now, I will build a house that you want. I will build a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful house that we can all live in, and we can be a family together. Like we are obviously a family together. We have our good days, our bad days, and we enjoy every single day with as much fun as possible. We really do. But there is that charm, there is that sense of security that comes from having your own house, and we have dreamed of it for a really long time. So I know that that is a dream that I want to achieve, and I know that by 30, obviously I will have made enough, I will have had the perfect place, I will have found and build the perfect house that I've always wanted to live in along with my family. And I know that that is a dream that is honestly possible by the time I turn 30. By the time I turn 27, maybe not, because then I'm adding that pressure on myself. But again, this is one thing, as you go forward and fix flexible deadlines on the goals that you want to achieve, know that not every particular tactic in this video is going to work for you. There are things that work better for someone else, there are things that don't work better for someone. So I'm just sharing from my personal perspective, from the way that I have personally lived life and the things that I have learned, that it makes more sense for me as a person to have flexible deadlines for the goals that I want to achieve. Because now that I know that I have 4 years, and I know that it's a really huge possibility that I will obviously have a house by the time I turn 30, I have no fear around it. So I can move forward with love, right? But if I have a shorter deadline, I try to do things really, really quickly. And every time I've seen this, I have noticed this in my sense of awareness, that every time I try to rush through things, they don't work out. So I know that I have to move forward with this with love rather than fear. And for me personally, having flexible deadlines, and deadlines that I know for a fact will happen. Like every single time I set a deadline of, by the time my next birthday rolls in, I will have a house. I had that feel, well, can I really have that house? Does it really make sense? How am I going to ensure that this gets done by the time the next year rolls in? There has always been fear clouded in and mixed in with all my hopes and desires. But now when I think of, oh, by the time I turn 30, I will build a house and I'll give it to you, and you will be living in the best possible house, in our dream house together. All of us will be living together. I don't have any fear around it. I have love, I have patience, I have respect. I have all these wonderful emotions mixed into the dream that I want to achieve, and I would rather go by that. However, if working on shorter deadlines works for you personally as a particular individual, I would love for you to go and give it a try. Give it a try. If it works, continue setting shorter deadlines. If it doesn't work, have a bit of flexibility, right? So that is something that I want you to keep in mind as we set out and build our energetic goals for the coming year. This is something that you can do as well. Once you have picked the dreams that you want to live, once you have picked the goals that you want to achieve by the next year or in the following years, you can split it into different areas and actually think about how you are planning on achieving this goal. right? I will go ahead with this example, which is financial goals. Now, I mentioned that personally for me, I want to achieve $10,000 every month starting next year. Now, what I have done is, oh, $10,000 can seem like a huge thing, right? So, what I've done is actually split it into different ways and understand the different income streams that will help me achieve this $10,000 for a month goal, right? And for me, that looks like, oh, I want to earn $2,500 from partnerships, from places where I am helping someone, where I am partnering up with companies, where I am giving my coaching as a package, which I will be doing starting next year. I have already, this is amazing. I have actually collaborated with a lot of companies and I am working towards providing coaching for them one on one for all the clients that they have or for their employees within their communities, within their companies, which is huge. And I love that. So I know that for me, 2,500 from partnerships is something that is really, really feasible, something that I can achieve very easily, right? And then I want to have three clients, that is almost 15,000 per month from working one on one with particular clients. So I have already surpassed my dream or my goal, right? Three clients, $5,000 each. I have already gotten $15,000, but I still want to have different streams, right? So 2,500 from my partnerships, $5,000 plus from the clients that I'm working with, and more going forward, right? With sponsorships, with YouTube sponsorships, with sponsorships for my podcast. I know that I have all these income streams. And so I want you to actually sit down and think about everything that you want to achieve. What are the steps that will help you achieve the dream that you want? If you have a particular dream, break it down so that it is less strain on you. Doing three coaching calls is huge, right? One on one sessions with three different clients throughout a week is huge, especially with something that is kind of like stress management. And we work towards creating customized activities that work specifically for you, that help you get better. So we have all these things that I'll be working on. And so I know that working with three clients is huge and that is really, really dope and amazing and enough for me. But I can also do partnerships with companies, which I already am. I can do partnerships with communities, which I already am. I can work alongside communities and offer workshops, offer paid speeches, and do all these amazing things that I'm currently building. So break down your goal, look at the big goal, break it down into two or three parts, see how you can achieve these two or three parts from, right? For example, if it is $10,000 that you want to achieve starting next month, think break it down into four: 2,500, 2,500, 2,500, 2,500. Where can you achieve this particular goal from? Where can you achieve this particular goal from? Have income streams that help you achieve the bigger goal that you have in mind, and it will actually help you. So instead of looking at your goal as one big thing, break it down into chunks and see how you can actually achieve those chunks. This will actually actually help you a lot. So do that. I feel like that is something that is really huge, irrespective of what particular goal you're choosing. For me, it is financial goals. That is the biggest thing that I'm working towards. But for you, it can be any other goal, right? Whichever goal you have, whichever goal that you're working towards, break it into smaller chunks. If you want to lose, let's say 20 kgs by the next by May next year, split it into 4 kgs per month, right? From Jan to May, you have that's 5 months. Split it into five. Oh, I want to lose 4 kgs in a month. How can I achieve this small dream, this small goal? When you make it into bite-sized chunks that you can work towards, it becomes so much more easier to help you achieve the bigger goal that you have set out for. That is a really huge tip from me to you guys. I hope you love it. All right, let's step into the next aspect of it. Futuristic plan. This is the space where, for example, you are redoing the activity, you are doing the visualization that we did at the beginning of this video or at the midpoint of this video. You can move forward 3 to 5 years and see what are the dreams that you want to achieve. For example, for me, that is, oh, building a house by the time I turn 30. That's 4 years from now. That is a futuristic goal that I'm working towards. Have futuristic goals. You want to come under the Forbes 30 under 30 magazine, which is another dream of mine. That is a goal that I have to achieve by the time I turn 30. What are the goals that you want to achieve in the long term? Who are the people that you want to collaborate with? Who are the people that you want to work with? What does that look like for you? Have all these goals set out, and then once again, start small. You have a big goal, break it into smaller chunks and see how you can best achieve the smaller chunks. What are the steps that you can take so that by the next 4 years roll in or by the next 5 years roll in, you are well on the way to have achieved the goal that you set out. Plan for excess, right? So, for example, going back to the $10,000 goal that I had, if I am planning on working with 3 clients at $5,000 each, I have already surpassed my goal of achieving $10,000 every month. I'm actually earning $15,000, and that's just from my one-on-one clients. Plan in excess so that even if there are a few stumbles along the way, you're still earning close to or enough to the goal that you had set out for yourself in your mind. All right, all right. My last tip for you guys, and this is a really important tip. It is really huge if you have something like this, which is accountability partners. When we are working towards bigger goals, it is very easy for us to stumble. It is very easy for our limiting beliefs to show up and pull us back into the place that we were in, pull us back into square one. It's very easy to jump back into the old comfortable zone, especially when things get harder. So have accountability partners. Have accountability partners, have a community that supports you towards your dream. What are your dreams? Figure them out. Make a note of what are the dreams that you want to do. How can you keep track of it? As in, how are you working towards your dream in a particular day or in a particular week? What are the days that you are working towards a particular goal? And when would you like your accountability partner or partners to check in on you and see if you have worked towards your dream or not? A huge tip. If you are working towards something like this, and if you already have an accountability partner, let's go. I am excited for you. If you don't have someone like that, please feel free to join the Stress Busters community. It is a free community where our goal, once again, our mission is to make stress management fun, and we have accountability partners set up. I am being an accountability partner for 2 to 3 people in the coming year, right? And I have 2 to 3 people showing up for me in the exact same way where they're asking me, what did you do? Did you achieve your goal? Did you do the thing you promised? For example, for me, I get really finicky in reaching out to people, right? It might be my introvert trait, but I get really finicky and freaky when I am reaching out to people. So I have 2, 3 people who constantly ask me, well, Madhurima, did you reach out to the 10 people that you promised you would reach out to? How is that going? What can we do to support you? Having that support, having that accountability is really huge when you are working towards your bigger dreams. So that would be my last tip for you. Have someone hold you accountable on this journey and do the same exact thing for them. Ask them, hey, I'm looking for an accountability partner. I would love to know if you are in a position, if you have the time and space to be that accountability partner for me. If you choose to be that accountability partner for me, please let me know how I can do the exact same thing for you. What are the goals that you're working towards? When you have that bigger community, when you have that accountability partner who's hyping you up and helping you reach your dreams, just as you are hyping them up and reach their dreams, we grow together. We grow as a community, we grow as a force that needs to be reckoned with because we are powerful beings who have a lot of potential within us. As a multi-passionate, I know that I have a lot of potential within me, and because I work with so many multi-passionate, ambitious dreamers, I know that you guys who are still watching this video, you guys are my people. You guys are my people who have so much potential that is not tapped into yet. You're just scraping the surface. You have so much potential that it scares a few people, and it sometimes scares you. But I'm here to let you know that that potential is powerful and we can do a lot of amazing things with it. We can change the world one step at a time with it. We can change our own world, let alone the outside world. We can change our own internal world one step at a time, which is really powerful. So I'm here to hype you up. Join my community, look at the different resources we have. Reach out to me personally if you want to work with me. Once again, doubling up the prices next year, working with only 3 people, one last chance to work with me at half the prices, that is $2,500 before the next year rolls in. This is the time that you can step in, you can reach out to me and ask me how I can support you. And I would love to hold that space for you if we align together, if we are a good fit for each other. With that, thank you so much for watching till the end of this video. I hope that it resonated with you, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye bye.